Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration will host its third annual Shop Stewards and Union Officials Conference in Johannesburg. The event is being held under the theme, the National Minimum Wage, the Post-Implementation Conversation. Officials will deliberate on how the National Minimum Wage Act has been implemented and whether intended legislative objectives have been realised. It all sounds rather complicated, so I know that you're going to pick that up and explain it to us.
Indeed, Jane. I'm joined by the CCMA's acting head of legal, and that is Eleanor Hambidge. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
For joining us. So, for starters, the national minimum wage has been blamed for retrenchments. That's the post-implementation conversation. Is that a fair assessment?
I do not necessarily agree with that. I think, firstly, it's too soon to say that. The Act came into operation on the 1st of January 2019, and it's eight months later. And, you know, this is a debate that we should all have as South Africans. The National Minimum Wage Act is aimed at dealing with wage discrepancies, assisting the vulnerable. It's not even a living wage, in my humble opinion. I'm not aware of research that can actually show that as a result, this has led to more retrenchments.
Based on the cases, I'm sorry to cut in, but based on the cases that you have seen come to the CCMA, how are companies handling the implementation?
I have looked, sorry about that, since 1 January 2019, we've received over 16,000 cases involving the National Minimum Wage Act and then also some disputes in terms of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. And there's a variety of issues that are being raised before our commissioners. What I have noticed is that the awards that I've read show that commissioners deal with the defence of the employer cannot afford the national minimum wage. And the reality is that employers must be compliant. It is not, I think, very high, 20 Rand per hour. It is, but it does get raised that it is not affordable by employers. But I think your question is, does it then lead to a retrenchment? I haven't seen those statistics. But at this conference, we do have an economist speaking to that, Professor Burat, and maybe an economist is better placed than me. You know, I'm only a commissioner.
Well, let's discuss the people who are going to be at that conference, some 400 union representatives, yes. And it's about capacitating them as well.
Yes, because they are the ears and the eyes. They are there to protect the vulnerable workers, and the CCMA is on a drive to do more dispute management, more dispute prevention, not only dispute resolution. And the shop stewards can then assist us in dispute management more effectively. So yes, we're going to have 400 people attending. We also have a lot of very, very good speakers. I'm unfortunately one of them.
Well, it's a good thing because you bring in the legal brains. So it's a complicated environment that the union representatives operate under at this moment. You have a volatile economy, and you also have a changing world of work with the fourth industrial revolution coming in. Yes. How are they adjusting, would you say?
Well, I think they will be better placed to answer that question. I think the 4IR is an issue that we all have to deal with. The gig economy, we all have to deal with that as South Africans. The fact that union density is not what it used to be, the fact that the informal sector, you know, that is actually where people are now creating jobs for themselves. So there's a lot, I think, expected of the CCMA to deal with all the changes in the world, not only in Africa and not only in South Africa. But I think by presenting and having these conferences, because we talk to each other, we can deal with all these burning issues, hopefully.
When does the conference start?
It starts tomorrow and it will continue on Friday.
That's at Gallagher Estate?
At Gallagher Estate, Midrand, yes.
All right, Eleanor Hambidge.
Hambidge, yes.
She is the acting head of legal at the CCMA. On